Hi everybody and welcome to my workshop. Today I'm going to take a little break from turning bowls and platters and work on this table lamp made from native Irish beech. Now for many years I've not done a lot of spindle turning, but my early years training as a cabinet maker meant I had a lot of opportunity to work between centres. And every weekend my employer would send me home with spindle blanks to turn into chair legs and have ready for Monday morning. But very quickly when I became a professional wood turner, I decided bowl turning was the direction I would take. So it really is nice to have an opportunity to work between centres again. And I'm going to take you through this project step by step so you can make this at home as well. So I'll be working today with drawings and just making simple, precise measurements that you can too make at home. The lamp itself is made up from two components. So here we have the base, and the base measures 6.5 inches in diameter by 2 inches deep. So the first thing that I did with this piece was mark a circle with the compass, took it to the bandsaw, and then cut it out precisely beside the pencil line. I then took it to the pillar drill and drilled an 8mm hole, which is 5/16. The stem is made up of a piece that's 300mm long and 60mm square, so that's 12 inches by 2.5 inches. When I cut this piece up on the saw, I cut off a little bit of waste first just to eliminate any checking that might be on the end grain, and then cut it to length. I have here a few samples of ones that I have previously made. So this one is actually cut in half, if I just turn it around, and by cutting it in half it just allows me to show you exactly what's going on the inside. So the first thing we're going to work on today is turning the base. But with the base I'm going to create a recess on the bottom, keeping it really shallow, allowing for drilling quite deep on the inside. So I'll use a Forstner bit to drill the hole so that I can fit the tenon into it. Then I'll shape the outside using the bull gouge, and then afterwards I'll drill freehand in from the side so that I have somewhere for the cable to fit through. When I place the spindle into the piece, you can see that this is left quite short at the bottom, and that allows for the cable to come in and make a 90-degree turn and then up through the lamp itself. So I'm going to start off by drilling a hole in from both ends, and it's always a good idea to do the drilling first rather than last, because if you make a mistake, then at least you haven't gone to the trouble of turning the whole piece. So what I've done here was I've drilled in using a Jacob's chuck about 2 inches, 50mm in both ends, and then using a long drill to connect those up together. But I'll talk you through that a little later on. I'm also going to be using this little drawing here. So I've got all the measurements in place, and this is actually a full-size drawing. So you can download a PDF of this, print it off, and then stick it on to a piece of plywood, just like I've done here, so you can offer it up to the piece as you turn it, and I'll be able to take all my measurements off this drawing, which will make life very, very easy for everybody at home. So you won't have to worry too much about millimeters or inches. You can just put your calipers up to this, just like I'm going to do today. I think it's always best to start working on the base. So when I drill the hole or the mortise in the base, I can size the tenon on the spindle exactly for the hole that I've just drilled. Whereas if you do it the other way around, it may be a little bit loose when it comes to putting the two together. So I'm going to use the Vicmark chuck here. It's a Vicmark 100, and I'll put the little screw in it. Now the screw is a little bit too long for this piece of wood. It would take forever to screw it on, and it starts to get a little bit tight when I go that deep into dry wood. So I have a little spacer here made from MDF that I'm going to use to shorten the thread. Then I use the hand wheel to feed it on as I just push it in. And once it starts to tighten up a little bit, I lock the spindle and give it a good crank up. Okay, so we'll line up the tool rest parallel to the base. And the bull gouge that I'm going to use to start with is this one here. It's the GL4 5/8 inch bull gouge, and I've marked a line down the center as I normally do, and when I'm using this tool I'll rotate it until I can't see that red line, keeping the handle down towards the floor, and that'll avoid a catch. So I'll just grab the face shield for a moment, and starting with the lathe speed a little low, so it's about 700, I'll bring it up now to 900. That seems to be good. Everything is secure and I'm ready to go. So just standing right foot forward, starting in the middle. Just a back and forward movement. So that's just playing that up. The next thing I'm going to do is just make a push cut across the bottom for a really good finish. So for that, I'll pick up the GL5 half-inch gouge, and that is sharpened to 45 degrees. So again, standing right foot forward, pushing all the way into center.